This is not going to be an easy night for many broadcasters who are liberal. This is not going to be an easy night for this broadcaster. To say that I'm shocked and stunned is pretty much an understatement. The effort to recall Governor Scott Walker has fallen short tonight here in the Badger State. NBC News declares Walker the winner.
49 minutes. 49 minutes after the polls closed in Wisconsin, NBC News declared Scott Walker the projected winner in the Wisconsin governor recall. It did not even take an hour.
Mike volunteered for Barrett, voted today. You say you're very disappointed. A lot of folks here outside the Capitol sharing your opinion tonight.
We're not just disappointed. This is the end of democracy. We just got outspent $34 million to $4 million. This was the biggest election in America. Every single one of you out there in the nation, if you're watching, democracy died tonight.
You're very emotional.
I'm very emotional because we all had a lot invested in this. This was it. If we didn't win tonight, the end of the USA as we know it just happened. It's it. It's done. Democracy's dead.
CNN covered a man who was crying, and it's up on the website today at theblaze.com. This thing is going viral. It is going everywhere. I saw it live last night. I couldn't believe it. When you hear things like that, the last thing you want to do is laugh. Would you do a search real quick for the guy who's calling the Hindenburg? You know, when the Hindenburg comes in, he's like, oh, the humanity, because I think it might be the same guy.
This is terrible. This is one of the worst catastrophes in the world.
This is the end of democracy. The end of the USA as we know it just happened.
The smoke and the flames now, and the flame is rising to the ground, not quite to the mooring mast. All the humanity, all.
Every single one of you out there in the nation, if you're watching, democracy died tonight. It's done. Democracy's dead.
All right, welcome to the program. I am Vicki McKenna. No matter how caffeinated crazy I get, I cannot match the level of complete delusion of the crying man. You know, the guy on CNN who cried about the death of the USA and the death of democracy because Scott Walker won a recall election. That guy. He called my afternoon show yesterday. And he called to defend himself. It's, dare I say, priceless. Okay. So that's coming up. Democracy's dead. It's done. Okay. Famous. He's famous. Everybody played that. Everybody's heard him. Talking about it yesterday on the program. Who knew? He's a listener. So Crying Man, I do a show in Madison, for those of you who don't know, 3 to 6 in Madison. Crying Man called my show to defend his outburst and to defend the statement that this is basically the death of the USA as we know it and the death of democracy. Now, what you're going to hear, I had 2 guests in the studio at that time. One is Mr. Brian Schimming, whom you know very well. The other was a local conservative blogger named David Blaska. So you're going to hear 2 other voices on this conversation. It's about 6 minutes long, but let's have a listen to Crying Man defending himself. I guarantee you're going to enjoy this. Have a listen. Let's get to one more phone caller here. Let's get to one more. Mike, welcome to the program.
I'm the crying guy, Vicki.
Oh, the death of democracy in the USA as we know it. First explain how democracy is dead. That's what we need to know first and foremost. How democracy is dead when we've had 1, 2, 3, 4 elections.
Happy to.
Okay.
You guys were just talking about numbers. The only numbers that I'm really interested in, Vicki, was how much money was spent in this election.
That's not. You're not explaining why democracy died. We'll talk about money. Hey, Mike.
That's where my theory is.
Mike, we'll talk about money in a second. We had 4 elections: November 2010, April 2011, August 2011, and June 2012. Those were elections that were held where people went out and voted, Mike. So can you please explain to me how democracy? Do you know what democracy is, right?
I absolutely
Okay,
do,
so how
Vicki.
is it
It's
dead?
when you have the will of the people being done, and that's absolutely not. It's the will of your money. It's the will of the media and people like yourself.
So
that like to just tell
1.3
lies
million
all day.
people are just not exercising their will in an election?
They are not being told the truth in the election because of big money. It's really that simple.
So you
Is it
really do
that
believe-
hard for you to grasp?
You
Is
really
it
do
that
believe-
hard for you to grasp?
You really do, but
$60
Mike,
million, and
Mike-
that's what I'm hearing today, Vicki, is $60 million. I'm hearing
Mike-
that $60 million is how much they spent.
Mike, you know how much public employees, unions, and third-party left-wing groups poured into
Not
Wisconsin?
more than $6 million, Vicki. I
No,
can't find
you're wrong.
any report that
You
says
know
more
what?
than $6 million.
He won't accept it. He doesn't accept it.
The other reason that you're wrong, Michael.
It's okay. He's just going to keep filibustering. That's because
The other reason that you're wrong, Michael, is yours.
You're going to give me.
Michael, the other reason that you're wrong is very simple, and it's obvious except to everyone except for you.
I'm the only one?
And that is for a year and a half straight, or 15, 16 months. Every single night, the voters of this state were treated to your side of the story on every nightly newscast in this state.
But was that because of money,
now
or
just
was that
wait,
because of a bunch of people
just
at
wait.
the
That's your truth right there. They were treated
that's
to your truth
truth
for
And
16 months.
The plain fact of the matter is, you guys got your side of the story put out there almost exclusively by the same media that you blast all the time. They covered
not
your
by the same
temper
media at all.
tantrums down
Mike,
at the Capitol.
16 months,
And
you made your case.
If you or I or Dave here or Vicki had to sit with a piece of paper and try to put an estimate together how much that was worth if you were to buy that time, it would be in the hundreds of millions of dollars.
Now, Mike, I got to tell you something.
That took 100,000 people. That took
Mike-
100,000 people at that Capitol, and that's $60 million from David and Charles Koch.
Mike,
okay.
that was
Mike.
100,000 people who went to piss in the corners of the Capitol Rotunda, pitch pup tents, and shout down government while 14 senators failed to do
were
their
all
jobs.
just like
Now, you
that.
listen to me
But
for a
we're
second.
really-
You need to go read the Wisconsin State
Well,
Journal.
you
The
need to
Wisconsin
read the
State
People's
Journal.
History of the United States of
Mike,
America.
hang on a second. Mike, I need you to do yourself a favor and go educate yourself by reading about how much money your money is your problem, right? How much money your side put in. It's in the Wisconsin State Journal from a week ago. The actual amount of money on both sides
Figured out by who we don't
was
know the actual
is
amounts
about
yet. We
is
don't know
about
the actual
even.
amounts yet.
No, they really do because we have third-party money tracking in
And that's my problem
Wisconsin.
with you. You're a liar.
We track
the name
third-party money in Wisconsin.
Start the name calling.
Yeah, the
Scoreboard.
name
Scoreboard.
I got news for you,
Scoreboard.
Michael. The name calling got rejected yesterday
It
by
sure
the voters
did.
of this
16
state.
months of the name calling, 16 months of the occupation,
Ever heard of the
16
term
months of the
epic
chanting,
fail?
16 months of Segway Boys, 16 months of this is what democracy looks like.
Beep, 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 beep,
Through
beep, beep, beep.
vuvuzelas and bullhorns,
Oh,
16 months of that, you just got your butt handed to you, and you can't just accept it. Time to move on. Go get a sandwich
But
and
thanks
take
for
a
calling
nap,
in.
sweetheart, because you're grumpy. We'll be right back. All right, Mike was swearing the whole time while we were talking. We actually had to pot him down. He was screaming, "I'm your damn worst nightmare." Just absolutely screaming like a crazy man. But guys, that's your occupation right there. Okay? There it is. There is the Wisconsin State Journal reported 2 weeks ago on the actual total amount of money spent in Wisconsin in this recall election, just the Barrett Walker race, not the entire year. And it was about even up. They said that when you take a look at third-party expenditures, you add it to actual direct campaign donations, you've got pretty much an even-up match between Governor Walker and Tom Barrett. That's a fact. This is a report from a liberal newspaper in Madison, Wisconsin. This is not Vicki McKenna. This was in the Wisconsin State Journal about a week and a half ago. The left won't accept that. They want to convince themselves they didn't do anything wrong. They want to convince themselves there's nothing wrong with their message, that it's all big money. Did you notice how Crying Man never did explain how democracy died? He just wanted to gripe about money. somehow to him, campaign commercials are the equivalent of, I guess, dagger wounds to the heart of democracy. Let's go to Debbie in Appleton. Welcome to the program.
Hi, Vicki. That's too
Hey,
funny.
Debbie.
I saw this guy the other night on TV, and it made my night. I just about died laughing. But you know what? Shame on us for picking on him because he's just getting in touch with his feminine side.
It's
what
true.
A joke. If that's what liberal men are like, keep them.
Well, I said maybe I should buy him a sandwich. And, somebody suggested I buy him something else that he apparently is missing. This guy is from the Madison area. He's been part of the occupation for 15 months. His life, right? His life is this occupation. There are people down there at the Capitol who don't know what to do with themselves today because they've basically assumed this life for themselves. This is what has filled all those voids, emotional voids. We've got some people who are, they're like cult members down there. They don't quite know what to do. There was a woman, she was Bike Lock Girl actually, stood in front of the CNN van like the protester at Tiananmen Square when it was pulling out. Don't leave!
My gosh.
Okay, so
maybe
you're talking
we
about...
chip in and give them a bus ticket one way, of course, to California.
Well, I want to give them a pacifier. I want to give them a snack and put them down, for a nap with their whoopee because they're a little cranky,